Kyle Richards shares photo with Demi Moore and reveals height. Kyle Richards and Demi Moore have a scene double. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member looks so much like the Substance actress, and this photo of them is proof of their resemblance. Kyle took to Instagram on Thursday, May 8, where she posted a photo of herself and Demi while they attended the launch party for the Prism, 7 Steps to Heal Your Past and Transform Your Future by Laura Day. Although Kyle has a famous actress sister, Kim Richards, as well as her socialite sister, Kathy Hilton, Demi could be the 4th Richards sister due to her striking resemblance to Kyle. In the photo, both Demi and Kyle can be seen wearing their chic black outfits, smiling for the camera, while they wrap their arms around each other. "It's giving stunt double," Kyle wrote in the caption of the post. Although Kyle seemed to tower over Demi in the photo, she clarified that this is just a fluke. "Demi is taller than me. She had on flats and I had on platforms," Kyle clarified, along with the words, "the more you know." Kyle's friends were very happy to see them together. "Lovelies," Sutton Strack wrote. "Fine LA, bravo alum," Brad Goreski added. But musician Casey Musgraves, who has also been called a Kyle lookalike, had a bit of FOMO. "Someone tap me in," she commented. How tall is Kyle Richards? Kyle Richards is 5'2". She confirmed her height in the comments of an Instagram post in 2019 and during RHOBH Season 13, Episode 7. During the episode, Kyle admitted that she was only 5'2", but she isn't ashamed of it. "I have a big personality," she joked. Kyle reiterated her height in the comments of the May 2025 Instagram post, after one commenter noted that Demi must be tiny if Kyle is taller than her. "I wrote in the captions that she had flats on and I had platform heels. She's a little taller than me," Kyle wrote in reply. Mauricio Umansky once mistook Kyle Richards for Demi Moore's sister. Kyle's estranged husband, Mauricio Umansky, has even thought that Kyle and Demi look very similar. Kyle told The Knot in 2021 that her and Mauricio first met at an LA nightclub in the early 90s. "Mauricio thought I was Demi Moore's sister, and I had actually been told that before, so he worked up the courage to come over and say hello, thinking that I was her sister," she said. "I figured if I couldn't get Demi Moore, I could try to get her sister," Mauricio exclaimed before stating that he got something even better. Kyle also told this story on a March 2017 episode of Heather McDonald's podcast, Juicy Scoop. "He thought that I was Demi Moore's sister because he had seen me at the gym and someone said, 'That's Demi Moore's sister.' It was just one of those rumors and he believed it," she recalled. Twice upon a time, Kyle and Demi and the prism of possibilities. It all began with a shimmer. Not a glint, not a gleam, a shimmer. The kind that makes you blink twice and question if reality just glitched for a second. Kyle Richards stood in the warm glow of soft lights at the launch party for the Prism, 7 Steps to Heal Your Past and Transform Your Future by the mystical author Laura Day. It was a book launch, yes, but also an energetic vortex of Hollywood's most spiritually curious. Incense swirled, laughter tinkled like wind chimes, and crystals clanked in champagne flutes. Kyle was no stranger to glamorous events, but something about this night felt unusual. Maybe it was the full moon. Maybe it was the energy of transformation swirling in the air. Or maybe it was Demi Moore walking toward her, wearing an identical black dress, hair perfectly straightened, a knowing smile on her face like she was walking out of Kyle's own reflection. They both paused. "Oh my God," Kyle said, blinking. Demi tilted her head. "Did I just walk into a hall of mirrors?" They laughed, then embraced like long-lost sisters reuniting at an airport, only they'd never met before. But something about their connection was instant. There were gasps and murmurs as people turned to stare. "Double trouble," someone snapped a photo. Sutton Strack's southern lilt rang out from the corner. "It's like seeing twins from different timelines." Brad Goreski whipped out his phone. Finally, the multiverse is real. And in the crowd, even the usually composed Casey Musgraves bit her lip in envy. "Someone tap me in," she whispered to no one in particular. They posed for a photo, arm in arm, smiles wide, black outfits nearly identical, and for a moment, time warped. Kyle uploaded the image with a simple caption, "It's giving stunt double." But beneath the playful post, something stirred. A shared shadow. Kyle stared at her phone later that night, tucked into her California king bed with 4 dogs curled at her feet. Thousands of comments poured in. Most were hearts and flame emojis. Some gushed about the resemblance, but one caught her attention. "They say meeting your cosmic twin unlocks your karmic path. Hashtag the prism." It was posted by a user named @Chakerseer444. Curious, Kyle clicked the profile. It was a burner account, clearly with just a handful of cryptic posts about aura photography and lunar alignments. Still, it stirred something inside her. That night, she dreamed of mirrors, infinite mirrors, and in each, she was either Kyle Richards or Demi Moore. In one, she was both. The more you know. The next morning, Kyle awoke with the same disorientation one feels after an intense dream. She padded barefoot to the kitchen, where her assistant Bianca was already scrolling through headlines. "Your photo broke the internet," Bianca grinned. "Did you know people are saying Demi might actually be your long-lost sister?" Kyle laughed, pouring her iced coffee. "Well, considering I already have Kim and Kathy, I think that'd make us quadruplets." "Yeah, but have you looked at the side-by-sides? It's uncanny." Kyle rolled her eyes, but pulled up a tab on her iPad article after article. Kyle Richards and Demi Moore are basically the same person. Hollywood doppelganger phenomenon. Mauricio thought she was Demi's sister. It was everywhere. She tapped the caption she'd written the night before. "Demi is taller than me. She had on flats and I had on platforms. The more you know." Simple, harmless. But the more Kyle read, the more she began to wonder, not about the platforms or the height, but the strange weight of cosmic coincidence. Was it truly coincidence or something else? 7 steps. Days later, Demi called. Not her publicist, not an assistant. Demi herself. "Kyle," she said, "I think we need to talk about this thing." "What thing?" "This prism thing." Kyle's hand instinctively reached for the book, the signed copy from the event. "I haven't read it yet," she admitted. "I have," Demi replied. "And there's a chapter in it that mentions shadow twins. Not evil twins, but people who mirror parts of your soul back at you. Apparently, when you meet them, your life splits in 2. Kyle's breath caught. "You free for lunch?" Demi asked. Platformed truths. They met at Gracias Madre, a place where the air always smelled faintly of agave and sage. Kyle wore modest wedges this time, just to avoid confusion. Demi wore Birkenstocks. "You are taller," Kyle smirked. "Told you," Demi said, sipping her green juice. They talked about the book, about Laura Day's idea that everyone has a prism moment, when the path splits and your past is either healed or repeated. It was very very woo-woo, and yet neither could shake the idea. So Kyle asked cautiously, "What if we are cosmic twins or mirror spirits?" Demi didn't laugh. Instead, she reached into her purse and pulled out an old photo, a black and white one. Kyle stared at it, young Demi in the 80s, backstage at a concert. And next to her was a girl who looked exactly like a young Kyle, except it wasn't Kyle. Kyle swallowed hard. "Who is that?" "I don't know," Demi said. No one could ever remember her name. Reflections. They began meeting weekly, under the guise of friendship, yes, but also something deeper. Investigation, introspection. Together, they visited Laura Day, who lived in a Spanish bungalow filled with salt lamps and whispering wind chimes. She welcomed them with an understanding smile. Ah, the mirrors. Kyle blinked. "Wait, you expected us?" "You felt the shimmer, didn't you?" Laura spoke of a theory, not proven but poetic, that some souls fractured across dimensions. Some were drawn to each other, not past lives, not soulmates, but soul mirrors. And when mirrors meet, one thing always happens: transformation. The sisterhood of the not quite same size pants. Word got out, of course. The Bravoverse exploded. Kathy Hilton took one look at the photo and said, "Well, that's a plot twist." Kim Richards mused, "Maybe Mom had a twin, and we never knew." Even Mauricio chimed in during a family dinner. "I still say I fell for the better sister." Kyle rolled her eyes. "Stop pretending you met her by accident." "I did. I was told she was Demi Moore's sister. And yet you still married me." He smiled. "Lucky me." And somewhere deep down, Kyle realized this wasn't about resemblance or rumor. It was about possibility. Heels, flats, and fate. It had been months since the first photo. Now, Kyle and Demi stood in front of a mirror at Neiman Marcus, both wearing gowns for a charity gala. "Can I confess something?" Kyle asked. "Please do." "I always hated being 5'2". I used to try so hard to seem taller." Demi nodded. "I used to shrink myself. People expected me to be this towering icon, but I always felt small inside." Kyle looked in the mirror. Two women, two stories, one strange, undeniable bond. "It's funny," Kyle said. "All those years I spent trying to be bigger. Now I just want to be real." "Same." They linked arms. No platforms, no flats. Just two women standing exactly as they were.